Hi everyone, please subscribe my YouTube channel new more videos. The world viewed our marriage as picture perfect, the kind people spoke of with quiet awe. Friends envied my husband's calm confidence and the way I stood by his side, smiling as if nothing could shake us. At gatherings, people called us the ideal couple, and I played along, because admitting the truth would mean facing something I was desperate to ignore. Beneath the glossy facade, there were fractures only I could sense. My husband was caring, but his job consumed him. Even on weekends, his thoughts were lost in emails, deadlines, and meetings. I convinced myself it was temporary, that his drive was part of our love, that sacrifices now would pave the way for a brighter future. But nights grew colder, mornings felt hurried, and our talks dwindled to surface-level exchanges. Did you sleep okay? Don't forget your appointment. I craved something simple, something real, like being asked if I was truly happy. It wasn't about lavish gifts or grand gestures. I didn't need roses or fancy dinners. I just wanted to be noticed. I wanted my thoughts to count, my emotions to resonate beyond the echo of my own mind. I tried to fill the void with friends, hobbies, charity work, anything to convince myself I was okay. But every time I dressed up for an occasion and caught his distracted glance, I felt like a ghost. I still loved him. That never faded. But it hurt watching him slip into a world where I barely registered. The change wasn't sudden. It was subtle, like dust gathering in a corner you don't notice until the light catches it. I'd share details about my day, and he'd nod, eyes glued to his phone. I laughed at my own humor to drown out the quiet. Somewhere between our wedding vows and our packed schedules, I started feeling like a visitor in my own marriage. I blamed myself, wondering if I'd changed, if I'd become boring, if this was just how love aged. But late at night, when he drifted off mid-conversation, I'd stare at the ceiling and whisper to the darkness. Do you even notice me? The world still saw us as flawless. Friends called me fortunate to have such a driven husband. My family praised his reliability. I agreed because it was simpler than admitting that reliability doesn't warm you at night. It wasn't anger I felt. It was loneliness, deep and silent. I kept telling myself every marriage has its phases, that I just needed to wait for better days. But a quiet fear grew inside me, a gnawing dread that I might be waiting forever. That fear, that aching emptiness, was what opened the door to what came next, though I didn't realize it then. All I knew was I wanted someone, anyone, to truly hear me when I spoke. I wanted to feel alive again, not like a perfectly poised figure standing next to the man everyone admired. It started so innocently I barely noticed. An old friend re-entered my life after years apart, someone who'd once been a constant but had faded into the past. We exchanged casual hellos that stretched into a brief conversation, and for the first time in months, someone looked at me and truly listened. It felt harmless, just simple talk about work, family, and how quickly time passes. But the way he asked questions, the way he cared about my answers, caught me off guard. I left that short encounter feeling lighter than I had in ages, brushing it off as nostalgia. A week later, we crossed paths again. He remembered the little things I'd mentioned before, details my husband wouldn't.
This is short video. To watch the full story, click on the link below.